Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers. I'm going to take a quick and final look at one of these claims made by Miles Davis that photographs like this cannot be taken on a flat Earth. But I'm going to go through some of the points where he's completely wrong. He's either being very ignorant, very stupid, or very deceptive. Take your pick. Because what's presented here doesn't even agree with what globe Earth defenders would say is eye level. The whole thing about the horizon rising to eye level is an observation that anyone can make as long as we understand what eye level is. And eye level is the horizontal line of sight that goes across the center of your field of view. Your eye level, though, is horizontal, a line of sight that is horizontal. And it just so happens that when you do that, the surface will appear to rise to your eye level. So just to be clear, as it I always have been since looking into Flat Earth and discussing how we observe things across the Earth, eye level to me, and I'm pretty sure to most other people investigating the flat Earth, including those who wish to defend the globe, is this perpendicular view to our vertical. So it's a horizontal line of sight that goes off into the distance. So as long as your line of sight is horizontal, then that is your eye level in the dead center of the screen, which ultimately, when we look straight across a flat surface, will split that view into the surface being below the eye level and the sky being above eye level. Now, those defending the globe will even admit that the surface appears to come up this far, but they will argue about minute degrees of difference at a very high height. But here we have Miles claiming to be at just 210 meters and a horizon that isn't anywhere near in line with the eye level or the line of sight. The eye level is not represented here at all, but the claim is made that the horizon is at eye level and that the eye level is generally just the height at which the photograph was taken. So there is in fact, we're told to ignore any tilt that might have occurred and say that it's irrelevant. And the only focus or only admission that was made in this particular argument was that eye level is 210 meters. That's it. But if we just have a look at where the actual center line across the field of view is here, it's there. So we know that the line of sight, the direction in which this camera was tilted, was below horizontal and pointing at the bottom of these cliffs. That's where the camera was aimed once it was zoomed in. So we do not even have a proper representation of eye level. Remembering that a lot of the globe Earth defenders and anti-flat earthers who are prominent on the scene jumped on these images as a great example of debunking the flat Earth, but I'm sure even most of them would not make a claim with an eye level that is down here, and clearly shows that the photograph has not been taken at a horizontal level. So along with this claim that the horizon is lower than this, the top of this lighthouse at 73 meters, we have drawings like this. So here's a comparison of what it would be like if the Earth were flat, according to one of the people supporting Miles's photograph here. So we have the guy standing on top of a trapane or whatever it's called, and their eye level is horizontal to their vertical. Okay, and we are told that we have this line of sight that goes through the top of the lighthouse and then down here, in which case we should see the sea beyond the lighthouse if we are on a flat Earth. So this is an orthographic side-on view of this image, but it doesn't, for a start, it doesn't show the line of sight to be going through the lighthouse. It shows the line of sight to be going through there. And then this idea that eye level is just a reference point. That is perpendicular to the observer's vertical. No, eye level means that your line of sight is also looking at eye level. So what we should have to represent this properly is this green line of sight also going through this line of eye level, which is 90 degrees to the vertical. So it's not. They're basically picking a point in the photograph, and again, I mean, eye level. It's just not. It doesn't have any relationship at all to do with the actual photograph. Yeah. So the comparison was made for a view that would take place on a curved spherical Earth. Sighting through the lighthouse misses the horizon, and the MSL means the mean sea level. So again, we have this assumption that the observer his down is vertical to the center of a spherical Earth. So that gives him an eye level that's kind of way above horizontal, looking up into the sky like that. I mean, this is just ridiculous anyway. That isn't eye level by anyone's standards. Even the worst, most ignorant globe Earth defender wouldn't put eye level up there, I don't think. And then again, we have this claim that there is a line of sight going through the top of the lighthouse, and of course here it doesn't appear to hit the sea, so this would appear to validate the claim that this photograph is taken on a spherical Earth, with the horizon being the water curving away from us in the distance. So now let's look at what else is wrong and can be asked instead of this question here. So I'd say this question is completely wrong. It's misleading. We can see that the line of sight is pointing down. Okay, it's not eye level, so that invalidates that in the first place. And this is not a line of sight that is anywhere, really. If we wanted to claim that the line of sight was going through this lighthouse, then we would have to have the center of the field of view focused on that lighthouse. That would then be our line of sight. But here the claim is made that a line of sight can be made just by I don't know, just by drawing an arbitrary line somewhere through this image. Oh, simply because of the claim that the camera height is at 210 meters, therefore we are higher up than the lighthouse, and so we should be looking down through the lighthouse because we are at a higher position. But of course we can see already here that we're looking down way further than the actual lighthouse, so it's not even in line with the camera's eye level. It's all just very, very messy, and in no way a valid claim whatsoever. It's just a straw man argument. So we can cross this out as well. And I would like to ask the question, really, when you look at the horizon being here, just below the lighthouse, what about the fact that on any Earth, flat or round, how can the horizon be higher than the island? Yeah? This has been totally ignored without factoring in perspective, totally ignoring perspective, and making the claim that because we are higher, we should be looking down through this lighthouse. Then what about this observation that the horizon, the water, appears to be higher than the island itself? So what is your claim here? Do you claim to be looking into a bulge of curvature, that this water is in fact rising up in front of you and it's not an optical phenomenon? Because you are ignoring perspective, so one can only assume that you really believe that this water is actually rising up physically in front of you rather than being an optical phenomenon. So if that's your claim, then this horizon, this water level, is higher than the island. So what's happening there? What is happening there? Is this water not going to come rushing back down, cascading over the island because it's suddenly got higher than the island? It's only higher than the island because you took a picture from a higher height than the island itself. And so the horizon in the background does rise up to appear to be higher than the island and most of the lighthouse, except that in this case the camera is tilted down rather than being in line with the horizon, which it should be and would be if your camera was at a horizontal level. So yeah, if you're going to ignore perspective and take these observations as they are and convert them into orthographic observations, then please do tell us how you're not even looking down here to a horizon that appears to be above the rock. Ah, dear. Okay. That's all for now. Thank you very much. No more bananas for these monkeys on a ball. Time to move on from this ridiculous distraction.